In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 simple tips that will help you in your first competition. What is up guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're keeping safe and well. If you are a returning subscriber, it's great to see your face again. If you are new here, my name is Rhys and I make fly fishing videos and tutorials that will help people catch fish. So if you would like to learn more, please press that red subscribe button and smash that bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Okay, so the aim of this video is to give you 6 tips that will make your first competition easy for you. Starting off with number 1, do your homework. And what I mean by that is, if the competition is on a Sunday, you should be spending time fishing the lake on the Saturday or the weekend before. You're trying to get a picture and a feel for how the fishery is fishing. So with that, you want to be covering the whole lake and covering every single method that's available. Now, just because it's January and there's been a frost doesn't necessarily mean dry fly is not going to work. And most people on the lake in January won't fish dry fly. But if you do that, and find out that it takes 1 or 2 fish, then you've honed in on a method that nobody else knows about or has cared to try, and it will give you a chance in the competition to succeed. Also, on top of that, if you're on the lake and there are other anglers fishing, just be observant. If someone's catching fish when you're not, just try and observe what they're doing. You know, are they fishing lures very fast? Are they fishing nymphs very slow? They might not tell you what they're fishing, which is fine, you have to respect that, but you might just pick up small nuggets of information, such as how deep they're fishing on the bung. So your aim is to cover all the water on the lake on your practice days, cover all the methods and all the depths until you find a pattern. You may find that fish are sitting at 5 foot in the morning and then they drop down to about 11 foot in the afternoon. That nugget of information that you've just learned on your practice day should shape how you approach your competition day. And it's not only limited to time on the water. Let's say, for example, you've got a busy life, you've got family, and you can't make the commitment of having 2 or 3 practice days before the competition. Then go onto social media. So let's say, for example, the fishery put a social media post on 2 weeks ago before the competition and said that David caught 30 fish on a die line and a booby. And on that day, the conditions were sunny and flat calm. Well, if you've had sunny and flat calm for the following 2 weeks leading up to the competition, then you can bet that those fish wouldn't have moved much. They'll have acclimatized to those weather conditions and they're probably still sitting on the deck. You can learn things and prepare for competition without actually being on the water. Okay, and then moving on to number 2. If you can, fish with somebody else. A buddy system, when you're preparing for a competition, just speeds everything up. 2 minds are better than 1, and there are certain things that you may be strong at or weak at that the other person isn't. So for example, one of my strengths that I enjoy doing is fishing dry flies. I'm really confident with it, I can work it out on still water. But one of my weaknesses may be pulling, and I might fish with somebody who is an excellent puller. So if you can, find somebody else to fish with in the lead up to the competition. It will always help you. Number 3, scale down the competition box to the bare minimum. There's no point carrying 3 boxes with 400 flies on your competition day. You want to go into your competition with a clear mind, and the simplest way to do that is to narrow things down. So limit yourself to a box of flies which includes perhaps 8 or 9 flies in different variations. That sometimes is all that you need for your whole day. And it works the same with your lines as well. Rather than cart out 16 lines on a small still water, limit it to 2 or 3. Because the more tools and information you have in front of you, the more that you'll overthink. And as you begin to overthink, doubt will creep in and affect your fishing. Number 4, prepare your leaders in advance. So if you've seen my What's in My Box video, you will have seen that I've got a central part of my box which has leaders set up already. You don't need something like that. You can just use one of the 4 symmetrical circles like this and wrap lines around it. The point of preparing your leaders in advance is that if something goes wrong and you have a tangle, you don't waste time building up a new leader. So let me give you a perfect example of this. I fished an international 4 years ago and my first peg was horrendous. I had trees either side of me and I had a small gap behind me to cast in. I knew from practice that I had probably a 50% chance of losing a leader on that first peg on that competition. About 8 casts in, I lost the whole leader, lost all the flies. Now, because that was my first peg and you want to get a fish on your first peg, it would have been very easy for doubt trout to creep in there and then. But because I'd already set up 3 or 4 leaders in advance that were exactly the same as the first leader, all I had to do was go in, tie on a new leader and start fishing straight away. Now, had I not done the leaders, you can bet I'd have probably sat there and doubt would have crept in straight away and it would have affected the whole day. So prepare your leaders in advance. It will save you a ton of time with fishing. Number 5, have a plan and be confident in it. Even if your plan isn't 100% solid, don't worry about it, because if you're fishing something with confidence, you are more likely to catch fish on it than you are if you're fishing something with no confidence whatsoever. It's a bit like me fishing a method and catching 10 fish and then handing you the rod, and because you've never fished that rod before, you have no idea what to do. You're not going to fish with confidence and you're not going to fish with conviction. So whatever your plan is, stick to it and fish it with confidence, and that will set you right. Okay, number 6, read the rules. You don't want to be that angler on a competition that's fishing something that they shouldn't be and then they get disqualified. Whether it be FIPS Moosh rules or a local fisheries rules, just have a quick read of them. Make sure you are on point on the rules. At this point in our fishing, some of the most common rules you see on fisheries are no boobies, no snakes, single flies only, no team of flies, or all hooks must be manufactured barbless. So just take a few minutes, familiarise yourself with the rules of the fishery so that you don't get caught out. Okay, and then number 7, and arguably the most important rule of the day, enjoy. We as anglers are a weird bunch, and I've lost count of the amount of times I've sat there on a fishery and things aren't going my way, and then all of a sudden I am praying to God that a fish takes my fly, or I'm talking to my bung, asking it and begging it to dip. We all do it. It's all happened to us at one point or other. But don't let the pressure of competition fishing get to you. If something goes wrong, just take a breath, reset, and then start focusing on that next fish, and your success will come. So if you've got any tips for competition fishing, I would love you to share it in the comments below. For you, we as a community to learn from. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. My name is Rhys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.